Milo, is that you?
There, I think I got it.
Am I here? Hello?
Whoa.
That was perfect timing. I hit the button, and then all we could hear was Marcus going, "Am I here? Am I here?" No, you're not.
I don't know if I'm coming or going.
No, you're not. You're not.
Marcus is awfully existential this evening.
Wow, existential. Oh, somebody
to start off with.
Somebody tell our guest not to talk until we introduce him.
Okay, Wayman, don't talk until we introduce you.
Roger that.
Well, now he's talking.
Oh, sorry. You couldn't win that one, sir.
Yeah.
It was unwinnable.
Yeah, we set you up for failure.
Yeah, you know what, Wayman? We still don't want you to talk before we introduce you, but before we get any farther, I'm just going to do a blanket apology for everything that happens tonight or on this recording. I think that's the best way to proceed, don't you guys?
That's the flair we were looking for.
Yeah, there's the flair we were looking for. There's the flair we were looking for. I don't know. We'll leave this up to Derek to decide, because he's very. The fun part about having you guys, because you're all considerably younger than me, is that I've lost interest in being even remotely politically correct. I'm just completely lost interest in that.
Oh, really? We haven't noticed.
Yeah, and
I would never have guessed.
Yeah. So this is a podcast. It's on the free channel. So at some point we're going to mention that we're sponsored by White Rose Hobbies at whiterosehobbies.com. They're at I'm going to change this. I mean, regardless of the, how do you describe in today's world, where you're telling the truth, but it's got writer's embellishment? What's the politically correct way of describing that? What you're saying
Sarcasm?
No, I don't think it's sarcasm. What you're saying is based in truth. But this is what I want. This is what I've been dying to say ever since White Rose Hobbies came on as our sponsor. They're at 4401 West Market Street in the heart of York, Pennsylvania, downtown in the heart of York, Pennsylvania. You can't miss it. You go to the happening section of York, Pennsylvania, and boom, you're at White Rose Hobbies. So, which is not exactly correct. They're on the outskirts of York, Pennsylvania. They are at 4401 Market Street, and their phone number is 717-505-8676. Hey, this is a great opportunity. Wayman, I apologize for this, but if you've listened to any of our podcasts, and I don't know why you would, but we have a tendency to wander all over the place. This is a great opportunity for you guys to settle a discussion within the confines of LJ Strang Enterprises. One of our businesses, we have, like bus stop benches where they advertise on the back of a bus stop bench.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And the argument going on right now in the offices of the world headquarters is, do you put the phone number on the bench or not? I say, but no longer do you put the phone number on the bench. Dad, can you just jot down this number? Who says that anymore?
Right.
I got a better option.
See, I'm not interested in your options.
Well, for the audience to know, David has suddenly become quite critical of the work Lionel's doing on the podcast. I'll leave it there.
No, I don't think that's fair. I think he's become quite critical of my prose.
Oh, it's your writing. Okay. Yeah.
All of a sudden, it's not up to David's standards.
Right.
It's not working on the railroad anymore.
Yeah.
You could just throw a QR code on the back of the bench that would take you to the website.
That was my
or make a phone call for you.
Yeah, QR code.
Suggestion I was going to make.
I like that.
Ideally, the QR code is mapped to a specific sub-URL landing page, so you can track how often people are hitting the QR codes on your benches, as opposed to going to the front page of your website or QR codes elsewhere. And then you can know next year which is your most effective marketing channel.
Yeah,
See, it's really great that everybody liked the idea that I had, and I never got a chance to say it. Because it came from me, it wasn't a good idea.
I felt like that's where you were going to go, so I just thought I'd jump in there and help you out since you have been shot down.
I will say, I get the impression from people younger than me that the kids these days hate QR codes. QR codes are uncool. And so there is your target demographic for your business is teenagers, right? So I don't know.
Oddly enough, that's about half of our target demographic.
Okay. So I guess I don't know, but it might merit some research on whether the kids these days still use QR codes.
I would disagree. I bet that his clientele is actually very, very, very few teens. It's the parents of the teens. That's
an important part of the demographic. But the whole demographic it encompasses all those ages. It encompasses grandparents, parents, teenagers, people in their early 20s. There is a more and more. For those of you who don't know, one of the businesses I own is Driver Education here in north of Toronto, Canada. Driver Education is in Canada is more intense than it is in the lower 48 and much less intense than it is in Europe. In Europe, it's having a driver's license is considered a privilege. In the lower 48 or in the United States of America, it's considered a right. And
freedom.
And in Canada, we're somewhere in between. So, So the target audience is actually just about everybody between the ages of 15 and 75 or 80. So it's very interesting. So, the argument is, well, grandma and grandpa are still writing down the phone number. And I'm like, no, they're not. Because you know what? The internet became we got to bring in our guest.
Well, especially because our guest is in Atlanta, and they're famously good drivers in Atlanta. So
are they?
I mean, I love driving in Atlanta.
Okay, well, why don't you introduce him? Because you are the fellow that, what's his name? The short guy with the glasses. Derek is the guy that discovered our guest.
I've never been called the short guy with glasses.
Oh, how tall are you?
I'm 6 foot.
Oh, are you really?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, I didn't know that.
You lie.
Yeah,
I am.
You don't look. You are deceptively. You are deceptively tall.
So I didn't know elves could get that tall.
Well, yeah. Well, I think this is a first for us because Wayman is going to be the first person we're speaking to on the podcast who I discovered on TikTok.
Oh, really?
And yes. So this is a first for us. I'm kind of curious to ask him about TikTok, but we'll get there. But Wayman is over in Atlanta, so he's practically my neighbor. And I found his TikTok, and I said, "Who is this guy?" And then I looked and found his YouTube, and I realized, oh, he's got a great YouTube channel called Pro Scale Models. And I just sort of fell in love with his work. And the way I would describe it is if George Celios modeled in 2025, that's what Wayman is doing. His work is incredibly weathered. It's good, high quality, highly detailed, grungy urban scenery, and it is fantastic stuff.
Well, and he has almost 7,000 subscribers on his YouTube channel.
We should probably get him in here before he eats any more of those shrimp and then can't do the interview.
Yeah, exactly. Is Wayman his first name or his last name?
Why don't we ask him?
Why don't you know?
Wayman, welcome to the studio.
Thank you.
Do you regret your choices yet?
Trying to hold my laugh back while you guys are bantering back and forth because I was told not to speak before I was introduced. You guys are hilarious, yo.
Well, who's your favorite?
Well, I only know Derek right now, so for right now it's Derek.
For that, we apologize.
Yeah. Hey, that's not fair.
Ask him at the end.
Yeah, it's not fair to judge us on that.
Yeah.
Oh, and hey, I called Derek out for being untruthful about his height, so I went back to look at our rail fanning picture, and he is taller than me, and I think he is 6 foot.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that podcast.
Yeah.
You guys having fun together without even so much as an invite or nothing.
But hey, let's look forward to this one.
Record
that's
it.
Going on
Yeah.
right now.
Well, no, I'm looking forward to this one too, but I'm looking forward to that one because there's a lot of ground we got to cover. There's a lot of ground we got to cover.
A lot of things that need to be settled, huh?
Yeah. There's a lot of things that need to be settled. So, and then you have a Instagram page as well.
Yeah, all of my socials are under the same name, Pro Scale Models.
Wow, I just clicked on your Instagram page, and this one picture here is very. You got to log in. All right, I will do it on my phone then. Fine, I'll do it on my phone.
In this episode of Lionel uses a computer.
Yeah, yeah. Where he tries to learn how to do Flare. Boy,
I think Flare is something you're born with.
Yeah,
either you have it or you don't.
Yeah, and apparently we're going to get some serious mileage out of that. Okay, so now I'm going to go to my Instagram page, but
it's a very fuel efficient joke.
Yeah, exactly. But the very first picture I see is it appears to be numerous strips of let's say wood, styrene, whatever it is, with a lot of graphics or graffiti on it. What is that?
Now I need to go to my Instagram.
It looks like
and see what you're talking about.
It looks like it's a picture from February of 2024, so you're forgiven for not remembering. But it looks like it's a building, like a low rise.
Oh yeah. So there was a in Florida. There's this art scene called Art Basel, and it's like an outdoor museum of sorts. And across the street was this. So you heard of the buildings in LA that were getting tagged by graffiti artists and stuff, maybe. This building was in Florida, and this was one of the first ones that was tagged before the whole LA thing got blown out of proportion. And I seen it. I just wanted to model it. It took a while to do that because I looked at several pictures and I had to mimic the tattoo artist. In the tattoo the graffiti world, taggers, they kind of take their stuff very serious. Now, yeah, we know it's vandalism, but those guys are super serious about their work. And man, on that post, there's a bunch of those guys that I put their names up there, and they either was very happy and said I did a good job, or they were very upset and say I sucked at it. So
wait, so the people who actually, some of the artists who did these tags saw your post?
Oh yeah, because one or two of the actual graffiti pages, they reposted my post. And so it started getting a little traction, and yeah, some of them guys were like, nah, man, you missed out on that. You should have made it come up a little higher or something. I was just like, I mean, me by myself doing over 50 different tags.
Wait, you did each of these individually?
Absolutely.
I was about to say, and then 50 different styles too. It's not.
Yeah, there's.
Yeah.
So that's
quite a few on there.
So it's supposed to be some sort of a building.
Yeah, I think it was an old medical building, and it's still a work in progress. So I need to do the windows, all the roof details, the exhaust, and all that stuff. But I just like because they all tagged it like that. So
wow, that's a whole discussion in itself. Is graffiti and model railroading, which we will get to. You were gonna.
I was going to say, I think
you had a question, Derek, or something.
I was just going to say, I think Wayman is, I think we could say, the biggest expert on graffiti we've had on since our buddy Scott, because he won the Walther's nationwide graffiti contest a couple years ago.
Wayman did?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Cool is that? And what was involved in that? Like, so Walther's.
So yeah, they would do these contests. So one was like weathering, another was the graffiti one. I think they had like a scenery one where you could do like a small diorama of sorts. And someone sent me the link because I didn't know they were doing it. And what you do is you sign up for it. They send you whatever the car is you're supposed to graffiti on, which was, I want to say, like a 2-bay covered hopper or something like that. And then you sent it back to them, and I guess the judging commenced. And I didn't know I won probably a month or two after the announcement, because the lady kept emailing me. She was like, Wayman, we want to let you know you won first place. And I was like, oh, really? Thank you. So, yeah, it was a cool little contest. I'm not sure how many entries were in there, but it seemed like it was a decent amount. So
it doesn't really matter how many entries, if it's because it doesn't really matter. So now I'm fascinated by. I got to give you credit, Derek. You find some pretty fascinating people to talk to, which is
okay. Have a lot of flair.
Which is kind of reads kind of bad for the rest of you guys, because I was the one that found you.
It all comes back to square one, right?
Full circle.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have a question on the graffiti here. I see on your Instagram page that you have a picture of an open drawer with a lot of pens, Sharpies, things like that. Are you doing all this artwork by hand? Your miniature tagging?
Everything. I tried using...
I just have a whole new respect now, because if it was decal work, this would be awesome. But now I'm just kind of dumbfounded.
Yeah, I mean, I tried decals. I think for me, the main thing I didn't want to do with the because everyone would have it. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. I mean, there's only so many decal companies out there, and then it's just going to rinse and repeat.
You can buy those sheets and do your own artwork. And
yeah, I did some of those.
You're like playing on hard level, dude.
Now we should warn you, Wayman. It's a great compliment coming from Daniel, but when he's on an elevator and the doors open, he goes, "Holy smokes, it's a whole new world."
The bar may be a little low there, but yeah. No, that is impressive that you're doing all these by.
Oh
by
my
hand.
God, is it ever? Like there is like a million. There's like a million questions. Okay, you know what? We got to start right from the beginning. Otherwise, this isn't fair to everybody that's listening. So let's go to the basic questions that we ask every model railroader or everybody that comes on the podcast for the first time. So, you're in the Atlanta area?
Yep.
You're born and bred in the Atlanta area?
No, born and raised in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay. And if you don't mind me asking, how'd you end up in Atlanta?
I joined the military at 18. And I went to Fort Benning, which is in Columbus, Georgia. Traveled a little bit, came out. And I didn't want to go back to Pittsburgh. It was too cold up there. And I kind of just really liked Atlanta in general. So when I was in Columbus, we'd travel back and forth from there to Atlanta just for different activities and things of that nature. And I was just like, man, this would be a pretty cool spot to live in. And that's where I've been.
Okay. And so how long were you in the military?
I did 8 years.
Wow. Yeah. And then again, if I ask you any question you don't want to answer, just say, I refuse to answer that question because
no, I'm open, man.
Okay, so what do you do for a living? Are you retired? Or are you still working? What?
I get disability, but I'm a tattoo artist at the moment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
cool. And has that been something that you've done quite a bit of over the years? Or?
Oh yeah, I'm rolling on 10 years now as a tattoo artist. When I got out of the military, I did a bunch of jobs because I always knew I wanted to do something related to art as like my occupation. But kids, divorce, all that stuff thrown together, you kind of just got to do what you got to do. I went to SCAD. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar what SCAD is. It's Savannah College of Art and Design. Once I got through with SCAD, I graduated as an animator. I worked on a couple of films in the industry, and I was an older student. So once I graduated, and I went to the studio and done those jobs, I was like, man, this is not for me. We're in the studio for like 12, 14 hours a day. And at my ripe age, I was like, yeah, I need to go find me something else.
Okay, well, that's interesting. If you don't mind me asking a couple of questions about that, because so you got into animation, you got a job working on a couple of films, but you didn't like the long hours, or you're in the same spot drawing.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Okay. So have you been like a model railroader like since you were a kid?
No. I'm probably maybe 7, 8 years in model railroading. So yeah, I hadn't been doing it long at all. I mean, I've always loved trains in general, but as far as what I'm doing now, no. I had no idea what a layout was when I first started. I think I was telling Derek when we kind of done a test thing, I knew I wanted to do something with trains, and I just started looking around. Here in Georgia, there's a place called Helen, Georgia. And they used to have this huge layout. Like you can go in there. They had like scavenger hunts that you could do. And I was like, man, I want to build one of these. And so I literally went home that following day, took the trash out, and there was a door in the trash. And I had seen like these guys in Europe, they were doing like these, what do you call it? Like a little switching layout. They have it's a name for that, but
yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. And I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
We're not very good at podcasting, and I think you'll pick up on that pretty quickly. But I'm very good at interrupting people, which is one of my strengths. So what was I going to ask you? Oh, I can't remember now.
While you're thinking about
switching layout, you were talking about switching layout.
Oh yeah. There's people we want to talk to, and Watley. What was Mr. Watley's first name, Derek? Remember? We spoke to a fella named Watley.
Oh, start with an S, right?
Was it Scott?
No,
I don't remember. We're going to talk to him again, anyways. We're going to talk to him again. Hey,
it was Swatley. Hey. Wally Swatley.
Wally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Swatley. That's it.
Yeah.
And hey, smart guy. If you know so much. He happened to he sung the national anthem at the Chicago Bears game, which is the town that you live just outside of. So I'm surprised you weren't already aware of that.
Well, I heard him singing that day.
Yeah, sure you did.
He's too big to.
Yeah, so the point I was going to make to Wayman was that there's a very popular segment of the hobby where they build ON3 layouts that are really small, like 2 feet by 4 feet or 3 feet by 4 feet. And they build these. I probably shouldn't introduce Wayman to it, because once he finds out about those, he's going to want to build one of those. So all right. Typically, so do you mind if I ask you how old of a gentleman you are?
I'm 54.
Okay, so in your mid 40s kind of is when you discovered model railroading.
Yeah.
Okay, and so this is really interesting. I think this is something we should investigate. So you went to Helen, Georgia. They had a big layout, blah, blah, blah. So that kind of clicked in you. But do you kind of remember what it was that really sent you down the path of, geez, I got to pursue this hobby? Like, did you go to a store? Did you find a magazine? Like, do you remember?
That's a good question.
Okay, now hang on a minute.
Here we go.
Can I speak?
Sure, go ahead.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, one of the things we kind of stress here on the podcast, Wayman, is if some of our questions aren't great, please feel free to not point it out.
I'll do just that.
Yeah. Okay. So was there what was it? What do you think it was that really clicked you into, I'm going to do this?
I want to say it's probably a number of things, honestly. Besides that layout in Helen, once I started doing research, and one, I didn't know the trains could be that detailed, that small. And because I love a lot of detail, looking at like some of the, Athearn, scale trains, Rapido, and just how much detail they were putting into that, and finding out that people actually done some of it. So, you could buy that stuff, but some people actually do that in particular, adding the extra little piping under the box cars. And when I went to George's layout, I was so blown away. So I think just like I said, a number of things, but it was the detail, me finding that detail and how small that stuff was. And now even in scale is super detailed. So I think that was what really sent me down the path of, I really want to do this.
So George's layout, when you say George's layout, you're referring to?
Celios.
Oh, so you actually went and saw his layout?
Yeah.
And what brought that about? Like, how did you find out about it, and what made you?
Again, more just, in certain groups on Facebook and YouTube videos, it'll pop up, and everyone was just like, yo, that's a place you just need to go to. It's like the mecca or one of the meccas of model railroading.
And how many years ago? How many years ago was that?
Oh man, maybe 4 years ago.
Wow! So you were only 4 years into the hobby, 4 or 5 years into the hobby, and you went to visit George Chelios.
Absolutely.
That must have just, because me personally, I've been in the hobby since I was as long as I can remember, and I didn't get to see George's layout until I was like in my mid 60s. And so, for you to see it when you were 4 years into the hobby, it's like that must have just absolutely blown your mind.
Man, my mouth was open literally the whole time. George came up to me, he was like, hey, how's it going? Nice to meet you, blah, blah. And I'm still sitting there with my mouth open. Like, man, just say something to the guy. I couldn't say nothing. I was just amazed by the work that he done there. I actually done a video on my YouTube channel of my visit up there. Just fantastic work. Oh.
And so that's something we has anybody else here ever, like I've visited George Chelios layout. Has anybody else here ever had the opportunity to go?
I've been there.
No.
Who said I've been there? Who said I've been there? Dan. Oh, okay, Dan. So Dan, you can corrupt. That's a big word.
It might be one too many syllables.
Yeah. Well, one thing
you can agree.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. One thing that'll make you more at ease, Wayman, as we go forward is you need to realize that basically I'm an idiot. So
I wouldn't say that.
Well, give it time. Anyways, what I was about to say was that people should know that if you do get the opportunity to visit George's layout, he's a very welcoming fellow, and it's a pleasure to go because George enjoys having visitors. Is that a fair statement, Daniel?
Absolutely, and the man is just very humble about his work. It was a great visit.
Yeah, and I found that video you're referring to, Wayman. It was you did it 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. And it's called the Layout Tour, Franklin and South Manchester, and I highly recommend that everybody go do it. Okay, so all right, so now we're 4 years in. You've discovered George Chelios. You've gone to visit him. The bug has bitten you. How do you decide? I'm looking at, like, what scale are you in now?
I'm mainly in HO, but I'll drift back and forth between that and N scale. I started messing with O scale, but I don't have enough room like I want to stretch out with that. So,
okay.
Yeah, so mainly HO right now.
And you're building some sort of a home layout?
Yes. So I literally just built an N scale layout in my spare bedroom. The HO layout is down in the basement, but there's only 2 sections. So I plan on buying a house in the next year or 2. And I don't want to have to break all that down and then have to set it back up. So I wanted to focus on like one good section and just really detail it out. And then when it's time to move, I can just take that, take the legs off and then just put the top part in my truck.
Yeah. So, that's good. Yeah. That's just good planning because it's fun to build it. And if you can take it with you and when you find your permanent home, then you're off to the races.
Right.
But so primarily you would say you're HO scale.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Is there any other questions we need to ask before we ask 1,000 other questions? Like, is that all? Have we covered the basics, fellas?
I think so.
I was just going to ask what railroads you model.
Yeah, what railroads? What did you decide on, an era or a particular railroads or
modern era? Maybe a little further modern, if you will. So I do a post-apocalyptic type of feel. And so I chose that and had been writing this whole story. Well, my wife was writing a story. I would just feed her what I was thinking. Because I like all of the lines, if you will, like CSX, Norfolk Southern, UP, Canadian. I love them all. It's just something about, the companies having their own color schemes and their own logos. And I think it's just because I'm an artist, I look at that stuff also. So honestly, it doesn't matter to me what line it is or what company. If the color scheme looks good, I'm going to buy the train.
Right. So is it fair to say you just enjoy the hobby, period, all aspects of it?
Yeah. So like, honestly, the train, I love trains, but running trains is probably secondary. I love building structures. I love just detailing and, beating them up pretty good. Obviously adding graffiti to it. And that was my first thing I got from the NMRA, that master builder. Just because I love building structures. Someone was like, yeah, you should enter these into the MMR. And I was like, sure, whatever that means. And I got it.
So do you remember, like, when did you join the NMRA? Do you remember that?
Probably a few years ago, honestly. Again, probably right around when I went to Celios's layout. I came home and I had been, seeing again, just online and stuff, seeing the NMRA and all that stuff. And I'm not a joiner per se, but because someone mentioned that MMR thing, I was like, well, I got to join. So I joined it and then started with that one.
Well, that's interesting to know, but that's interesting because everybody joins the NMRA for a different reason. But that's a good reason to join, is to pursue the master model railroader thing. Because if you're good with your hands, which you obviously are, it could be a fun way to fill a lot of voids. Go ahead.
Are you on your way to becoming an MMR, or have you completed that?
I'm on my way still.
Okay.
I had a few hiccups, if you will, along the way, so I had to stop pursuing the other ones. But
well, if it makes you feel any better, I forget how old I am, but it's more than 50 and less than 100. And I've never pursued it. So like I haven't even gotten. I think I have 3 certificates, but that's probably as most I'll ever get, because it's an ideal thing for those that are interested in it.
I think, for what I do, I think that's probably all I may do, like the scenery part of it. I'm not too interested in like the wiring and bench making and all that stuff. I don't care about that.
Right.
Like, as far as getting a merit for it. Like,
right. Yeah.
As long as it holds the trains, I don't care.
Yeah. What made you start pursuing the YouTube channel thing?
This may sound very shallow and vain.
Well, then you have then this podcast is perfect for you.
You've come to the right place.
You have come to the right place, my friend.
This is what we call. We wallow in that stuff, man.
Yeah.
No, I just wanted that plaque for 100,000 followers. It's such an elusive thing. Because model railroading is such a niche thing for YouTube. If I was talking about, I don't know, fashion or paparazzi stuff, and I'd probably get there a lot quicker. But I just wanted that plaque to say I had 100,000 subscribers. So
you started out with that, but now that it's 4 years later, it seems like you put a lot of effort into your YouTube videos. Are you more?
I'm more. I want, if I can say I can show or teach someone something, I think that's probably more of what I want to do with the channel. And then obviously, kind of what I'm doing as far as layout updates and all that stuff. But
because
I love how-tos.
Yeah, you got a ton of great video. I mean, I think it said 230 some odd videos, but they're high quality. I mean, you obviously have artistic talent and you're obviously a creative person because, your modeling is great. Your videos are great. Like, it's always fun to talk to somebody that kind of covers the whole gamut. And I mean, yeah, your videos are awesome. I highly recommend to anybody that's listening, if there is anybody listening, to go to Pro Scale Models and on YouTube, and you're going to be very pleased that you did, because there's a lot of really good stuff on here. Now,
I just watched a video of you painting a sky backdrop, and it's not anyway the way I did it. I used a roller of light blue paint, and that was it. But you made it into art, and it's really impressive.
Thank you, man.
I watched one of you doing the monster truck, the graffiti box truck with monster on the side.
Oh yeah.
Now I see you doing the hand graffiti, but I gotta say, man, I think your art trading and stuff, that's like a cheat code there, because you make that look so easy.
You're not the only one that says that too. It's like, bro, you can draw, like, it's easy for you, and yeah, I guess it is a cheat code, but I just love doing that stuff. It's
incredible work.
Definitely a challenge because it's so small, and not to, I guess, squeal on myself, but, when I was younger, tagging trains, real ones, there's so much space and you could mess up and get the spray paint can and do something over or whatever. But, with how small this stuff is, you got to really just focus in on each line that's being pulled and all that stuff.
So you really do have a cheat code. You've done it both in miniature and 1-to-1 scale.
Yeah.
So what's that like? Graffitiing on a full size train, like we were talking. You got a Derek?
Yes.
Derek apparently is. Daniel, did you know this? Derek apparently is 6 foot tall.
I had an inkling.
Yeah. I guess I should have realized that when I was looking up when I was talking to him.
Yeah.
Do we have, Marcus, do we have time for a story?
Sure, why not?
Well, because it may not be that good of a story for starters.
It'll be a good story, I'm sure.
It's kind of a mediocre story. And I think I've told it before, but it's like one of my favorite stories of all time. So I play a lot of golf, or I did play a lot of golf, and I played with the same guys, and we played for years. One of the guys I played with was an excellent hockey player. Could have been in the NHL. Long story why he wasn't. He was shorter than me. And I used to take great delight in pointing out that he was shorter than me. And then one day somebody said, Lionel, you're the shortest guy in the group. And I'm like, no, I'm not. John is the shortest one in there. And one day we take a group picture. And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, holy moly, I am the shortest guy in the group. And from that point forward, I've had a, what do you call it? When you're complex about my height. Yeah.
Boy, we're being open tonight. This is great.
Well, if you were on as many drugs as I was, you'd be open too. Actually,
I'm not.
Yeah, there you go. Actually, I'm not. I'm actually starting to get away from them because, the pain is slowly subsiding. So Wayman, 2.5 weeks ago, I had my hip replaced. I highly recommend don't do that unless you absolutely have to, because it hurts like hell.
Man.
they tell me it's going to get better.
Yeah, well, you're recovering, hopefully, nicely.
Yeah, that's what they say. Anyways, boy, I can't believe Derek can find people that are this interesting. You got to hook Scott Smith up and Wayman up, because these are two graffiti guys.
Yeah, and they're only 2 hours away from each other. I mean, I really think that we need to get them in a room and maybe bring in, Chris Wayman down from Chattanooga. We could have our buddy from Hawkins Rail come up as well. From I think he's down in Columbus, maybe.
Yeah, we got to answer. We got to answer that email to Ralph too about getting his daughter on.
Yes. Somebody should do that.
How far is it from Atlanta to Chattanooga?
Maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours.
That's all?
Yeah.
Have you ever done model railroad operations?
Yes.
Okay. Well, anyways, we got a guy you got to visit in Chattanooga. His name is Chris Wayman, and he's another guy like you. He makes fantastic rail fanning videos. He doesn't even know who he is. Chris Wayman has no idea of the talent that he holds, because for decades, he's been making these fantastic rail fanning videos that are sold by Green Frog Productions. And he's kind of like, I'd go, so Chris, how many have you made? Well, I don't know, 3 or 4. And I'm like, no, it's like 50. What are you talking about? So you should, there we go. We got to get Wayman down to Chris's place so Wayman can enjoy an operating session. That's what I do on the podcast, is I invite numerous dozens of people to Chris's house.
Random strangers.
Right. Well, Jonathan Myers comes up. He's a regular operator on Chris's layout. He's in Atlanta. So
is he?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is it like what does that entail? Like, don't say anything that you shouldn't say. I mean, but what is that?
That the statute of limitations hasn't ran out.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think I'm past that, so I could answer.
So what is that like? So like what is it? Because it seems like almost an impossible job to some of the artwork that you'll see on these trains. You're thinking, well, that took more than 10 minutes. So what does that entail? Like, what did you think? Okay, tonight I'm going to go out and tag a train or something?
Well, one, when I was doing certain things, it was always like a crew of us, right? So it was 2 guys that was really just good at graffiti in general. And then you have, people that are fillers. So they may not be as good in graffiti, but they could just fill in big sections of letters. You got people that carry the equipment. We used to have backpacks full of paints and milk crates full of paints. And then you got a guy that carries a ladder, so and typically it's an all-nighter thing. You kind of wait till they're parked in certain, what do you call it? I'm drawing a blank. Whether it's a siding or a yard or somewhere.
And then, so this is generally done with groups of people that have found each other, and you go out as a group of 3 or 4 guys.
Generally, yeah. I mean, now there's, you can do it by yourself, but you're just going to be out there longer. So,
yeah, I had no concept that this was a group event sort of thing. And that there were guys who were just fillers and paint mules. And
does somebody bring snacks are there snacks and beer too?
Sounds like an operating session.
Right. Yeah, I know, exactly. I'm just imagining in my mind where each one of us would fit in one of these groups. None of us have any talent, so that would be hey, let's paint a line on the side of a car.
No, yeah, I mean, like I said, it's not horribly difficult to fill in, some like, hey, we need all the letters to be blue. Someone can just come in and fill that, because we'll kind of outline it with a lighter, maybe like orange or yellow or something. Then we'll come back in with the blacks or whatever the darker color is to do the outline work. But yeah, it's.
But if you weren't good at staying in the lines in a coloring book, you're probably not a filler either, right? So.
Yeah. Possibly.
So how many years did you do it? Like for 5 or 6 or 1 or 2?
Oh shoot, I don't know, probably ever since I knew that was a thing to do. So just years. And here in Atlanta, they have walls in particular that you can tag and graffiti. So, I mean, I'll get a wild hair up my ass sometimes and I'll just tag a wall. So, I mean, I'm still quote.
So you're staying in practice.
A little bit.
There's places around that. I guess you're talking about a place that's actually condoned to do it, right? And you can just around here, they've got where I live, they've got a park where they've got some big panels. And they'll paint them all white at some point to clear them, and then people come and tag them. And as long as it's not something that the community doesn't, they don't consider it, bad for the community to see, they'll leave it up there, and they'll just completely fill up those panels, and then at some point repaint them and do it again.
Mm-hmm. And that's pretty much the same. There's a place in Atlanta, Little 5 Points. There's a really famous tunnel called Krog Street Tunnel, and that's kind of what you're saying, either the artists themselves will bring like rollers and white paint and go over themselves, or wait for the city to clean it up, and then they'll just tag it like literally that same night. So there's a few areas in the city that's quote unquote legal to tag. So
I'm trying to think of when we interviewed Scott Smith, we discovered a company that does supplies for graffiti, not specifically, but a big part of their retail market was for graffiti, and they had the spray cans and the paint. And Scott had never heard of it.
The tops, the caps, and everything. Yeah.
I think we talked about like Montana Gold spray paints on that episode as well.
Yeah, we talked about something, and soon
there's a whole website that we'll have to go back and listen to that podcast.
Yeah, let's go back and listen to that one. Man, Wayman, you're pretty you're pretty friggin' talented. You're the kind of guest that I find kind of annoying because I really don't know which question to ask next because there's so many to ask. But I'm fascinated. So, how about this? How about a philosophical question?
Absolutely.
We usually do philosophical questions for our paid channel, but I'm going to do a philosophical question. This is on our free channel, which is sponsored by White Rose Hobbies. That's whiterosehobbies.com. They're at 4401 West Market Street, right in the heart of York, Pennsylvania. That's not true. They're on the outskirts of York, Pennsylvania. But if they were in the heart of York, Pennsylvania, that would be cool. But they have a really cool barn that they have and everything like that.
If you're going to the heart of York, Pennsylvania, you're going to go right past them. So.
Yeah, there you go. When you're going down
Are they next to the Dairy Queen?
Yeah, that's what we got to find out is how close to a Dairy Queen they are. Now, that's a contest. We got to come up with some sort of a contest that involves White Rose Hobbies and Dairy Queen. Now, there we go. Yeah, no. Can you? Is your headset not working, David? I said Dairy Queen.
That's right. I'm in the doghouse anyway.
Yeah, you're digging that. Stop digging, buddy. You're gonna hit. You're gonna hit the China next. They're like, stop digging.
I have to call 811 before I start digging.
I'm confused, Wayman, because I'm looking at one of your videos from 10 months ago, and the layout looks fairly intense. Like you're painting walls, and there's it goes down one wall and up another wall. It looks fairly intense. So I'm confused that you say you're only building something smaller because when you buy a house. Does this make any sense to you?
No. So right now, I just want it to be smaller, I guess. So when I do move, I can just add on to it.
So can somebody else look at his video page and help me out here? Because I'm deeply confused. Because it's a layout update, and it's 2025, and there seems to be he's painting. Well, you said you saw the one where he's painting the walls, Marcus.
I saw that. Was that on Instagram? Maybe
okay.
And
there's
it looks like his space is kind of on the smaller side, and what he's saying is he's building to the space, but when he buys a different house, he would like to have a larger layout. Even.
But don't I see a page I see a video with a helix in it?
Yes. So No, so we're a lot of those probably maybe 2 years back in all those videos. We were in another house. And I don't want to be a Debbie Downer or anything, but my wife just passed away in March. So I had to.
Sorry to hear that.
I mean, I appreciate it, but with all that, I had to move from the other house, which, you know, that had the helix and all that stuff in there, to this place. So when I moved from there, I'd still, you know, trains just have always been a very calming thing for me also.
So let me ask you this question. I'm sorry. I apologize in advance if it's a difficult question, but I think a lot of people, I think you will be helping. I know you will be helping some listeners. So,
absolutely.
So when your wife passed, we're very sorry to hear that. Of course, all of us are very sorry to hear that. But do you feel like when you were able to get a hold of yourself that the hobby was able to help you kind of find something to do?
For sure. Off the rip, it was a little hard to get back to anything, obviously, with what happened, but the hobby itself just really helped me stay focused. I knew she would have wanted me to keep in the hobby. You know, she understood how it helped me like just mellow out and calm down. Just like I said, I've been to combat, so I have a PTSD as well. And that just really, I just like watching the trains run in a circle, you know, I mean, so yeah, that to your question, it did help out a lot. And I mean, it's still helping to this day. So
I think that's something that people don't really realize. The hobby itself, it can be a very calming influence just in general day-to-day life, because number one, if you're working on a particular project, it's fun to look forward to finding some time to work on it. Number two, like if I was to build another layout, one of the things, continuous run would be a huge number one thing on my list of what the layout had to encompass. And just having the opportunity to build something, create the art. And nowadays, long before you got in the hobby, the ability to share with other people through either YouTube or Instagram, I think is a huge plus for the hobby, because you can work on something and then share it with the world.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I agree.
And I mean, I bet you get a lot of positive comments.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I don't look at it as like, oh yeah, you know, my stuff's great or whatever. It's just, like I said, I really like teaching. And so I try and make the videos when I do, if they're not just showing like a run by or something, you know, I try and chop the video up to where it's like, okay, I'm using this, now I'm doing this, now I'm doing that, and here's the finished product type of thing. So I'd like for the stuff to be easily digestible, and that, you know, I love Ratatouille, the movie with the little rat, and the guy was like, anyone can cook. And, you know, I know, I can't remember who said it here just a minute ago. They were like, oh, you have a cheat code. Yes, it is a cheat code, but I still feel like anyone can do what I do. I draw hands for, you know, tattooing and all that stuff. And when I was in the industry of film, one of my things was, because artists always are like, oh, hands are the super hard thing to draw. And I'm getting to a point here. But I just love drawing hands. And so what I did, I created an ebook on how to draw hands, but I tested it before that. I was at some event that had nothing to do with art. And I just went up to people with my sketchbook and was like, hey, can I teach you how to draw hands? And the amazement that people had who were like, oh, I could just draw stick figures, I can't draw at all. When they drew a real hand, they were just blown away. So I say all that to say, I feel like what I do with trains, you know, if you practice at it, anyone can do it. So
yeah, I find that actually we've had that discussion recently. Aside from what I do, one of my personal hobbies is having medical problems, and I either I'm recovering, I either have cancer or then I'll have a heart attack, and then I'll think, oh, let's try having a hip replaced. I just do stuff. I just do all these, and so after I had my heart attack, one of the things I have discovered is trying to build any kind of model has been therapeutic, but it's also been harder than it was before. But I just keep going because if you just continually repetitive on something, you will get better at it, which is what I'm basically taking from what you said is, everybody can do it. You just got to find that creative way of doing
your creative outlet, whether it's you like weathering trains or scratch building or, putting kits together in general. It's just like weightlifting, you get that muscle memory and then you have Arnold Schwarzenegger's running around. So
So you do all these videos to help people and to share your work and everything. Would you consider yourself a lone wolf modeler, or do you have other model railroad friends that you socialize with and do things with in the area?
Oh yeah, on my YouTube channel. There's a video. Me and Jason Jensen. It's one of my buddies. I talk to him quite regularly. And we'll collab on certain things. He models a different era, so whatever I model might not fit on his layout, and vice versa. But what we done was pretty cool. It was a couple of rundown houses. He put a Gundam in there for me because I actually have on one of the layouts I started. There was a Gundam that had crash landed on the layout.
What are you saying? A Gundam?
Yeah, the robots.
Oh yeah, sure. I know all about that.
Yeah, he's mixing some sci-fi in there as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like I said, there's a whole story to the layout that I eventually want to get done, but
that's a whole nother modeling hobby is the Gundams, right?
Absolutely.
I've seen some of that. We had a hobby shop here that closed recently, but in their kind of the final few years, they were trying to branch out a little bit beyond trains to attract more business, and they got into all that. I didn't really understand or to know what it was, but
and you can get them at White Rose Hobbies.
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That Gundam thing is a huge.
How do you spell it?
Gundam.
Okay, Gundam. Gundam. All right.
So I've heard of it. Didn't really know what it was, but it's basically robots and that. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's mech, if you will.
Yeah, like mechanized units.
Yeah,
okay.
Where little, I guess, human-sized people get inside the mech and operate it. But yeah, so to your question, I think was there anyone in the hobby that I've just... So Jason Jensen is one. Denny is another guy. He's actually... what is Denny's page? I think it's N-Scale Modeler or something like that.
And did you just...
N-Scale Dystopia. I'm sorry, Denny, if you're listening.
I love his stuff.
Yeah, he's super
talented. Awesome.
Yeah,
that's a good page.
And Jason Jensen has a good page too. He has a lot of good stuff. We got to get. I've thought for a long time we've got to get Jason Jensen on the podcast.
Is Jason Jensen the guy with the kit business?
Yeah,
he's a kit maker too.
Yeah,
well, and he does some cool sci-fi modeling where basically he uses trash to make things or disassembles things. He's got one section that contains elements of a Nerf gun that have been turned into sci-fi
pylons and all that stuff. And
it's great stuff.
Doug Foskel from Foskel Models. There's just a lot of guys that I talk to as far as in the hobby and who encourage me, and I draw inspiration from them as well. So,
and most of these people you've discovered through YouTube?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
I don't want to be rude, but that's kind of what I do. Not on purpose. It's just kind of who I am. I don't think I am being rude.
You're exceptional at it.
Oh no!
I'm finally out of the doghouse.
Yeah, I thought I'd take the heat off of you. I'm teasing. We love Lionel.
Yeah. A little too late now, buddy.
Yeah, you heard that soft chuckle. He was like,
yeah, exactly.
We're just gonna cut Dan out of this podcast.
Yeah, meet Dan's replacement.
What are you doing next week, Wayman?
Well, never mind then. I'm not going to say it. I was just going to say something funny. Like you do know you got something stuck in your ear there, right?
no.
Yeah, those big. You got those big round things in your ear. They look like.
Yeah, my plugs.
Yeah. Those things that are stuck in your ear. He's had them so long now he doesn't even remember they're there.
Man, seriously, there'll be days I won't take them out, and I'm like, oh, I still got these things in my ear.
Yeah, I know.
Yep.
You can maybe one day you can fix one of my tattoos. One of my tattoos needs to be fixed, and
I'd love to fix one of your tattoos.
Yeah, okay. So when I can, in my spare time, I love to ride my Harley up and down the highway, especially in Florida. And I had a tattoo on my left arm, and I thought, well, when I was wearing a sleeveless T-shirt, I thought, man, I really look cool on my left. I'm not a big tattoo guy, but I had one that I wanted to get, and I got it. And then I realized I didn't have anything on my right arm. So my buddy, who is a airbrush guy, a very well-known airbrush guy, he's also a tattoo artist. And so we actually together created a really neat tattoo. And then I thought underneath that, I'm going to get barbed wire, because a round of barbed wire, because, you got to go under your arm to really prove you're a tattoo guy. And that's where it hurts the most. It's on the bottom.
Absolutely.
And so somebody else did the barbed wire. I went with my secretary's daughter, who's big into tattoos, and we decided we were going to go to a tattoo place in Toronto and get a tattoo together, and so I got this guy to do a round of barbed wire, but it looks very feminine. It's like it's too small, and it's like, no. And I spend all my time looking at this thing going, no, I got to have I got to have something else, like another piece of, barbed razor wire going around it or something.
That wraps around or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Derek, are you thinking what I'm thinking?
No.
Yeah, nobody's thinking what you're thinking, David.
That instead of worrying about what's to put on the benches, maybe you should get a QR code tattooed on him with the...
Nice. I was just going to ask Wayman, if you do that, can you make sure it hurts?
Well, it'll hurt.
Oh, it's going to hurt.
Okay, good.
It's going to hurt.
Good. Okay, good.
If you ever had gotten a tattoo around your arm, you would know that already.
I have not had a tattoo.
I know, exactly. It's well, you know what? It's for
You've not photographed the Alaska Railroad either.
Yeah, exactly. That's another thing. Yeah, let me ask you. This is the last question. Wayman, would you be available to do another podcast? Would you be available to come back tomorrow and do another podcast? Now, the key is when we say tomorrow, actually what we're going to do is stop this one and do another one right after it, but we're going to play it tomorrow. See, so it's going to be like this one will be played on a Monday, and then we're going to record another hour's worth of podcasting, but we will play that the following day on a Tuesday. So because we're trying to be really with it and hip, we say on the air, hey, can you come back tomorrow and do another podcast? When in actual fact, it'll be in 10 minutes.
Right.
Kind of like Jeopardy, where they film 5 episodes in a day.
Exactly. Right? Yeah. It's like, yeah.
The illusion.
Yeah. It's like Wheel of Fortune, where they do a week's worth of things at once.
Do you know they film maybe like 2 or 3 months out of the year, and then they don't do anything else?
I know. Pat Sajak said for years it was the greatest job anybody could ever have.
And how much money Vanna White is making for turning them letters?
Exactly.
Man, she hit the lottery.
Exactly. Like Pat.
They talk about cheat code.
Yeah, I know. Now while we were watching the Blue Jays beat the Dodgers in the World Series, you could see Pat Sajak sitting down there near home plate.
Yeah,
watching it. What was I going to ask you? I can't remember now. All right, let's call this a day. We're going to end this one, and so can you come back tomorrow, Wayman, for another podcast?
Absolutely.
Perfect. Marcus, can you give out our email address?
Sure. If you'd like to reach us by email, you can do so by sending us an email at modelerslife@gmail.com. That's modelers with one L like Flair, not two L's like Pro Skill Models.
Ooh, sweet. Nice. Well thought out. And if you missed that, if you go to our website, amodelerslife.com, there's a widget there that all you got to do is fill in your text and hit send, and boom, we will get your email. And we're going to probably do more of our email shows on the free channel. So we highly encourage people to send in emails, pro and con. We will read them all, whether you like us or not. And that would be cool. And then if you click on the Patreon link, our Tuesday show, if you like this, which is on the free channel, and you'd like twice as much podcasting a week, you can, for a few cents a day, you can join our Patreon channel. And then if you go to the t-shirt level, then you're entered into the contest that's sweeping the globe. Hey, dude, where's my shirt? How exciting was it, Daniel, to get your package of shirts?
It was super exciting. I saw the package and I knew in an instant what it was. And couldn't wait to get inside, get it open, and check out what was in there.
Yeah, and then when you were going rail fanning with your friends that you wanted to keep secret, you could wear your shirt. And do you have any
something like that?
And do you have any last words, seeing as how this might be your last show, Danny?
Right. The one person who won't be on tomorrow's show is me.
I think that's it. Have we covered everything? I think so.
White Rose Hobbies.
White Rose Hobbies, but we did talk about them before.
Oh, yeah.
WhiteRoseHobbies.com, right there at 4401 West Market Street in York, Pennsylvania. Ask for Ryan or Thomas and tell them Lionel sent you.
Pick up your Gundam kit.
What's that?
Pick up your Gundam kit.
Oh, yeah, get your Gundam kit, yeah. Whatever, and yeah, get your Gundam kit. Life is so confusing now. There's too many hobbies. That's the problem. I think what we're going to discover is model railroading is going to become more popular. It seems like it's a niche hobby, but I don't think it is. And in the next tomorrow's episode, Wayman, just so you can be ready, we're going to ask you. You mentioned something about an ebook, so we're going to talk to you about that. So
okay.
So be ready.
I will.
And there'll be more philosophical questions in tomorrow's episode. So now, Wayman, at the appropriate moment, we need you to say happy rails to you. Now, the key is there's no singing, there's no dancing, there's no interpretation of any kind. We just need an enthusiastic happy rails to you. Do you think you'll be able to do that?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
All right. Well,
now, are we all saying this together?
No, this is strictly you're on your own, buddy. We're pushing the boat out from the dock, and you're there by yourself with a paddle and a couple of oars, and you're on your own.
But we'll judge you. I mean,
yeah, we will judge you. You'll be judged.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, exactly. So you'll know when it's your turn. Well, Wayman, as we close the barn doors on another episode of A Modeler's Life, and the sun slowly sets over the back 40, there's nothing else left to do except for you to say,
happy rails to you.
While in Busted Knuckle, guests of A Modeler's Life podcast stay at the Casa del Sol Motor Court and Inn, where late-night dancing at the Rumba Room is a magical event to be experienced.
It's another Lincoln Homer.
Wow, that was a good one.
That might be a winner.
Yeah, that might be enthusiasm right there.
That was top 5 all time, all the way.
I think so.
I think so.
Yeah, that was a good one. Now, Daniel, is there anything you'd like to say to Wayman that you'll never be talking to him through the podcast again?